Hey guys, Bazikins here for an absolute banger of a news drop on Wowhead. A post by Blizzard about 2 hours ago stating boosting communities now prohibited in World of Warcraft. Absolute, absolutely insane, guys. For the more pessimistic of us, we never thought that this day would come um, because, there are Blizzard employees that partake in gold only services. Um, And I don't know necessarily if the individual sales will be restricted. Part of this statement is the policy updates now do not restrict individuals or guilds from using provided in-game tools to buy or sell in-game items or activities in exchange for in-game currency. However, boosting communities, especially those who operate across multiple realms, are no longer permitted. I think this is kind of an effort to crack down on the advertising um, specifically. I don't know if that's necessarily going to have the if this is going to have the desired effect because you could possibly end up with a larger number of parties advertising their own individual sales, whether it be through their guild or if you're just a Mythic Plus team trying to sell some 15s and you have an open slot and you want to sell that slot to someone who's looking for a timed 15. I don't know. It could go either way. That's not really what this video is going to be about, though. It's going to discuss the finer points of what this means, right? So, full disclosure, I have been a part of a boosting community for the past 4 months, I believe, to supplement my income. I also have sold raid boosts in the past, including when I was a GM of a guild during Warlords of Draenor. We were selling high mall carries all the way up until the end of that tier. So, um, I just want you guys to know that is something I have experience with boosting, but I'll try to be as unbiased as possible. So obviously we have to look at this from both sides, right? So let's talk about the boosting side of things, the boosting community side. These communities have operated within the terms of service for the most part. You're obviously going to run into some RMTs, some real money transfer organizations that are using stolen accounts. They're operating outside of the terms of service, and those folks have always been doing things they shouldn't be doing. But there are a lot of boosting communities who have been operating within the terms of service using only in game currency, operating across multiple realms with a massive coffer of gold to ensure that transactions go across smoothly. And as far as I'm concerned, in all of the boosts that I've partaken in over the months, especially the Mythic Plus 15s, um, we got paid for a service. We went in, we made sure we performed our service adequately to where the customer was happy with what they paid for and got, and there were no victims in that circumstance. However, I am not naive to the downsides of boosting. Right, you end up with endless trade chat spams, which I understand is extremely annoying. I haven't had trade chat turned on in months, or excuse me, in years. Sorry, I think I disabled trade chat permanently back in like 2015, and I have not turned it back on since. Really, for any reason, because I know that once I turn it on, 95% of the posts in trade chat are just going to be um, sales for boosting services, right? So, um, yeah, but I mean the Blizzard, the boosting communities that I've seen, this is obviously a heartbreaker, and from what I can tell on their discords, all of them have complied with this. They've all shut down their operations. I don't think you're going to end up with any of the boosting communities that were previously operating within the terms of service and held that as a point of pride for themselves is going to openly try to violate this in any way. And why would they? They would set themselves up for massive backlash by Blizzard. They continue to try to operate because there's way too many people involved. Blizzard would hear about it basically immediately. What I think that will happen is a lot of the RMT services that are stealing accounts, hacking them, they're probably going to step up their game to hack even more accounts and continue to try to sell because they no longer have legal competitors who are operating within the structure of buying WoW tokens and then using that extra gold to supplement their carries when they needed to. And then you've got the other side of this discussion, right? And I do want to touch on how this affects players who aren't in any way interested in um, in boosting, whether that be boosting other people or being boosted themselves. And then, of course, I want to talk about what this means for Blizzard, right? So, if you're not interested at all in boosting, you should never partake in it, either role. I don't think that this comes off as bad news or good news, unless again some of the previous issues, right? Trade chat spam. Um, you could potentially consider KSM watered down because of boosting services. I personally think that KSM is watered down because of how easy the achievement is at this point to accomplish when you compare it to, for example, BFA Season 1 with the Infested Affix, which was a purely negative affix. It was very difficult to play around. Beguiling is another good example. Although with that, you had essences, whereas with Season 1 of BFA, you basically had like so little borrowed power in any way. Plus the affix. BFA Season 1 KSM was not an easy task. It was not an easy accomplishment. So, I don't think that it necessarily I don't think that KSM has been watered down by this, but for some people, you certainly may disagree with that statement. Consider it very much watered down because boosting communities provide that service to a ton of people. What does this mean for Blizzard, right? Well, this decision directly cuts into money making by Blizzard. That's why I think I'm so shocked by this decision. For people who consider Blizzard this money hungry corporation who will do absolutely anything to make a dollar regardless of the player experience. I think overall, because they're a corporation, I think that's mostly true. However, you can't say all the time because this is another example of Blizzard stamping out something that makes them more money at the expense of the player experience. The trade chat spam, the watering down the achievement if you feel that way. Blizzard makes a lot of money off in-game currency sales because people buy more WoW tokens to buy more of the carries, and this will directly result in more people trying to pug KSM as opposed to buying WoW tokens. I think Blizzard would be hilariously naive if they thought this wasn't going to lose the money. I'm assuming that they are willing to write off the amount of extra money they make on the tokens in exchange for alleviating this ongoing issue in the community. Now, are we shocked as a whole that Blizzard has done this? Probably still yes, but one thing that I do want to point out is that boosting in general has been a hot topic within World of Warcraft for years now. It became even more obvious as WoW Classic came out, as TBC Classic has come out. You started to see the boosting services take hold pretty much immediately within those services, and that ruined the experience for a ton of people. Obviously, implementing the WoW token into the Classic facilitated that issue. And what have we been left with? Right, we've been left with a community that feels as though you don't necessarily have to achieve something impressive in order to get it. You just have to have enough gold or have enough IRL money to buy the tokens in order to get it. And that's totally a valid point. There are multiple layers to this. It's not an A or B issue. There are complexities to this discussion on both sides, because on one hand you just have people who want to make money or that don't want to play the content endlessly with people who are not super skilled, they themselves probably not being super skilled. They would much rather just pay the gold and get the thing, right? On the other hand, you've got people who are tired of the trade spamming. They're tired of the watered down accomplishments, all that stuff. So I totally understand it from both perspectives here, guys. But WoW is this huge news, right? Because I did not think this was ever going to happen. I never thought they were going to go after the boosting communities. They have, and for the most part, all of them have shut down. Let me know what you think in the comments, guys. Do you think this is a good thing? Do you think it's a bad thing? Are you a booster yourself who's affected by this? Go ahead and let me know. Like and subscribe as always. I appreciate all the support you guys have given me. We're almost to 100 subscribers. Getting me there would be awesome. Then we can move on to the next goal. So yeah, this has been Bowserguns checking out the banger of a news drop on Wowhead. And I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.